The 2025 National Sports Collectors Convention is here. It literally starts tomorrow. And right now, today, we are going to get you ready. Whether you're attending or just watching from home, we are going to give you everything you need to know about the 2025 National. The Geoff Wilson Show is brought to you by Arena Club, the official home of slab packs. Now available every day, slab packs offer an exciting way to collect graded cards with confidence. Plus, every pack comes with an instant offer to buy your slab. Don't miss out. Explore the latest slab packs and more by downloading the Arena Club app. Just search Arena Club in your app store and use promo code SCI20 for 20% off your first purchase. All right, Teapot, the National is literally here, or almost literally here. It starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is the Super Bowl for us here at Sports Card Investor, Market Movers, Cards HQ, the Card Kits Trade Zone, which is going to be bigger and badder than ever this year, more space for everybody. We got stand-up displays as part of our booth. We got YouTube videos coming out like crazy all week long on the Sports Card Investor channel, actually starting later today. This is literally our Super Bowl. It's also the Super Bowl for the entire sports card hobby. What do you think of when you think of the National being right here tomorrow?
It feels like the summer just goes by in a blink, because as soon as we hit May here in Atlanta, it's hot. And so summer's upon us, and then we blink and it's the end of July and we're in Chicago or wherever the National happens to be. It just goes so fast. So in many ways, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised it's here. We've been working incredibly hard as a team, as a product team, to deliver a whole bunch of new stuff for market movers and just to be ready for the activation. It's a lot of work. It is the single biggest, rewarding, engaging, joy-filling experience, while simultaneously being very exhausting by the time we hit that end of day Sunday when the show officially closes and we start doing the teardown. We just kind of have that collective sigh when we wrap the last pallet and do all of that. So it's awesome. It's such a fun week. I'm really looking forward to a whole bunch of different things.
It truly is a marathon and sprint all combined into one, because it feels like you're sprinting, especially with everything we're doing work-wise, content-wise there, and then just being able to take the show in as well. It's such a thing, and man, for it to be here, it's something I look forward to so much every year. It's also something that I'm completely exhausted by the time that it's over, but I've got a big smile on my face when it is, and I'm so excited it's here. Okay, I want to set the stage a little bit for people who are watching this show from home who aren't going to make it to the National this year. And then I want to talk a lot about the actual environment of the National, because there's some things this year that are quite a bit different. And I want to talk about some of our do's and don'ts and things that we're looking forward to about the National this year, things we're actually on the hunt for on the show floor. We're going to talk about all of that. But for the audience watching at home, we are going to be releasing more videos this year than ever before on the Sports Card Investor channel. Our team has challenged ourselves to be putting out 2 videos a day every single day from the National. Our first video is going to go out today, Wednesday. Then we're going to have a video going out today, Tuesday, I should say. I'm getting my days mixed up. Today, Tuesday, will be our first video on the Sports Card Investor channel. Tomorrow, Wednesday, will be our second video on the Sports Card Investor channel. And then starting Thursday, we have 2. Actually, Thursday, we're going to be live at trade night. So we're going to have a video coming out Thursday, and then Thursday night, we're live at trade night.
Yep.
We're live on the Sports Card Investor channel for 3 hours.
I think I'm going to be with you.
We're going to be doing it together.
Yeah.
We're going to be analyzing trade deals in real time. You're going to be helping me with some of my trade deals. Maybe you're making some trade deals, and I'm providing commentary. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be Thursday night live on our Sports Card Investor channel. I believe 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern is when we're going to be doing that. And then Friday, we got 2 videos coming out on Sports Card Investor. Saturday, we got 2 videos coming out on Sports Card Investor. Sunday, we got 2 videos coming out on Sports Card Investor. You're going to be doing a video for the Market Movers channel.
Yep.
We got Card Crew doing a video.
Content.
All kinds of social coverage.
Yeah.
There's a lot. We're going to be feeding people a lot.
Yeah.
So for folks watching from home, do not fret, because there's going to be all kinds of coverage.
Yep.
For those of us going, the experience this year is getting some upgrades. We talked about it last week on Cards on the Table. new air conditioning systems at the convention center, new Wi-Fi-ish. They're kind of part of the way through the new Wi-Fi installation. We will put that to the test starting tomorrow to see how well that stuff works. They've expanded the dealer floor. There's now going to be, I think, like 75 additional dealer tables upstairs, from what I understand. They try to pack in even more dealers than any national in history. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see what that's like, having like an upstairs kind of dealer section. There's more events happening outside the national this year. You've got the SoCo Expo, big soccer show that's happening. You've got F1 trade night. You've got vintage trade night, all these things happening. What are you looking forward to just in general? Not just these upgrades and everything, but this week, starting tomorrow, what are you looking forward to most?
I'm really just looking forward to meeting people and seeing people who I've met in the past. That is like the number one thing that I enjoy about the National. The cards are awesome, don't get me wrong. And when I get the opportunity to walk around and stroll a little bit and just see all the different things and see all the museum pieces there, that's really cool. But this is like the main opportunity that I get to talk to people who are Market Movers users, to talk to people who use the Sports Card Investor app, which just got a big upgrade, to talk to people who love our content, to talk to people who share similar passions within their collecting space, or just want to talk to me about what their most recent pickup was. People come and, ask for advice or help comp them, helping them comp cards. There's so many ways to interact that my like extroverted bug just gets put on steroids, and I really get to interact with a lot of people, and that's what I always look forward to the most. Yeah,
I think a lot of people would give that answer. People who maybe don't know that many people in the hobby and they're brand new, they're going to take in the experience and to see all of the different items on display, which, by the way, is incredible. Like, you'll never see as many different sports cards and memorabilia in your life as you will at the National. There's just nowhere else to go see that in person. But I think people who have gone for multiple years, who have started to make connections with other people in the hobby, maybe they follow certain people on social and they're looking forward to maybe kind of meeting them in real life. Maybe they're looking forward to going and interacting with some of their favorite content creators or some of their favorite brands in the hobby. Maybe they're just there because they want to, be there for the giveaways, right? But I think that kind of in-person interaction, that experience, that ability to connect with others is something obviously really, really, really special about the National, to a scope that you don't see from any other card show.
Yeah. One thing I really like, and I'm terrible about this, but other people are good about it, is like taking pictures. And they'll say, hey, let's get a picture. And then, I've had people like pinging me on Instagram recently saying like, hey, well, I see you again at the National. And like the last, some of the last times we talked, just because we met in person, they like DM'd me the pictures from year over year, where you just get to finally like put a face with the name. So I enjoy that aspect. I think that's something I would say, if you can, like, slow down and just have some of those memories captured in photos. It's really cool. And if you don't know anybody who's there, don't be shy to, if you would like to know people, like to strike up a conversation. Maybe you're standing at a dealer booth and you see somebody looking at a card that's really cool or whatever. Just, oh, are you, big Ohtani guy? Just like, creating connections. There's tons of people who are looking to do that. The trade nights in particular, both the main formal trade night as well as the ones that just pop up in the different hotels, are really like the best environment for that as well.
I agree. And those trade nights this year, the official trade night is happening 3 nights, Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night, right when the show closes, upstairs in the convention center. And the room that it's happening in the Chicago Convention Center is a very nice room. It's a humongously large ballroom. Yeah. It's got good lighting. It's got good air conditioning. It's going to be a lot better than it was last year in Cleveland, where the trade night was happening down in a basement in a space that was a little bit claustrophobic.
I kind of liked it in Cleveland.
Did you? I did not like it in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I did not like the trade night
My
space.
last name means lowland dweller. Maybe there's a tie there. But I liked it last year.
I didn't. I didn't like it last year. This year it's going to be, in my opinion, in a nicer space. But it will be right there in the convention center. Don't miss the trade nights. Don't miss the trade nights. You got to make that at least one of the 3 nights. It's a really nice value add enhancement to going to the National. And in many ways, as you just said, it's actually a better opportunity to connect with people, to hang out a little bit. I mentioned there's a couple of events taking place outside of the National. The SoCo Expo is a big soccer specific card show. event that's happening in the evenings, and that's happening, I believe, the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night as well. So that is offsite. I think it's about like 15 minutes away from the National. It's in a soccer practice complex, which is kind of cool. They're going to have games going on the fields. I don't know where the F1 trade night is, but I know there is one. I know there's a vintage trade night. I don't know much about that, but I do know there is one. I'm sure if you search for these things on social media, you will find all kinds of information about it. There's other things going on. Companies are doing parties at night. There's events. There's, if you'll hear about things while you're there. If you walk around and start talking to people, all those are cool opportunities. I'll be honest. Let me say first, I absolutely, love what we've built and the fact that we've created this brand. Both of us have created this incredible brand in the hobby, and a lot of people know us. But one disadvantage of that is that we're so busy during the days. We're doing so much content. We're running around so much. We're talking to so many people that by like the time that show closes at 6 o'clock, man, I am wiped. And we are doing the trade night one night. I'm going to go to that SoCo Expo one night, but the other nights I can't go to some of the stuff. I can't go. They've got these, the different eBay's doing a thing. I think one night. I think Golden always does a thing. For some of their customers. PSA is doing a thing one day that I got invited to for some of PSA's top customers. Whatnot's doing a party for all the breakers. Yeah. I don't have the energy to go. I can't go to a lot of that stuff. And
you just can't be in more than one place at a time either.
You can't. And I wish like some year I could maybe I got to wear a disguise and just go to the National as like a fan, just to have the experience of just like being able to do all that stuff and taking it all in as somebody who's just like anonymous. Like that actually would be, I would love to actually, I can't do that, but that would be a fun thing because that stuff is so fun. It's so cool. Yeah. And I hope people listening who are going to the National are treating the National as it's more than just the show, but it's these trade nights and it's these events in the evenings and all that kind of stuff, because that makes it worth it.
There's not enough nights. Like it's a long week and we're going to be like on for 16, 18 hours a day, most days, honestly. And that's the hardest part is like, there's a lot of people I'd like to be able to get to know a little better, go out and have dinner with, spend time with, and you just can't do it all while you're there. So I was like, hey, maybe, if you come down to Cards HQ, like I'd be happy to take you out to lunch or something, but it's difficult. There's a lot of competing events and different things. We've got our Market Movers member happy hour on, Friday night. Yeah, that'll be fun. So that's going to be fun. And so there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. And you even mentioned the little pop-up trade nights that happen in the hotel. Yeah. So many of the hotels right around the convention center, you'll notice like trade nights just happening in the lobby of the hotel, just kind of organically that go on. In fact, there's been some famous incidences in previous years where some of those hotel trade nights have become so busy and so packed with people that the hotel became overwhelmed. They actually had to call the police to clear the whole thing out. Yeah. That's happened multiple times.
That happened 2 years ago in Chicago when I went to, I think it was Lowe's or one of them.
Yeah, and the police cleared it out, right?
Get out of here.
That probably, it may happen again this year, but that's part of the reason why the National added more official trade nights to try to take some of the pressure off of the hotel trade nights and all that kind of stuff. But it's quite the spectacle. Okay, give me something you are intrigued about when you head into the National this year. Something you're kind of wondering about. Maybe something that might be a little different, whether it's about the National or maybe you're intrigued to see the market around particular cards or players or I don't know. Anything that might intrigue you this year.
Anything that intrigues me. That's a great question, putting me on the spot. You know what? There's always new startups around the technology within the hobby space. Some of them somewhat competitive to what we do, some of them totally competitive, some of them just doing something else. And that's a piece I always enjoy. I like seeing that people are investing into the hobby, trying to reduce friction, trying to make things more efficient, trying to give people tools to make their hobby experience better. And I always like talking to people who are potential partners for us with what we do and could help, where we could help support each other. So that's one thing that always intrigues me is like, what are we going to see this year where somebody's trying to disrupt the way that something is being done in the hobby space with technology?
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I'm curious this year to see if the National tries to add any more interactive elements. So we're coming on the back of Fanatics Fest. There's now been 2 Fanatics Fests since the last National. And one thing that obviously Fanatics Fest really did well was, the interactive elements, whether it's all the sports league activations and all that stuff, to athletes roaming around the show floor and doing deals at certain dealer tables, social media opportunities, all these things that take place at Fanatics Fest. That's not what the National is at its core. It's a different type of show, and I think it's totally fine. I actually think the fact that Fanatics Fest and the National are quite a bit different is a good thing, and I think they should remain quite a bit different. But I am curious to see if the National leans a little more in that direction and has some interactivity. They have a section on their map called the interactive zone. I don't know anything about it. It's not big, it's not huge, but it's on the map. So I'm kind of curious, like, what's the interactive zone going to be? Are we going to get batting cages, or or maybe it's nothing to do with that? But coming off the back of Fanatics Fest, that kind of piques my curiosity. So I'm a little interested to see what the National has in play this year. Okay, tell me a card or cards or things that you're going to be looking for at the National this year. Maybe give me something from an investment perspective, and maybe something from just a personal PC perspective.
Great question. From a PC perspective, I've been picking up a lot of the current roster for the Detroit Tigers. I'm always on the lookout for Barry Sanders cards and Grant Hill cards that stand out to me. I've pretty much, I'll say, closed my Andre Drummond PC. I have pretty much everything I need or could ever want. If somehow I stumbled across, the Prism Black, 1-of-1 Drummond from one of the years that I don't have, like 2013 or something, then that would be on my list just to complete some rainbows. But that's pretty much it. I'm also just continuing to look for different Topps Dynasty cards of players that I've really liked, and ones with cool patches inside of them. And those have become much more ubiquitous. I'm seeing them in a lot of shows now. So that's always something I'm looking for. And I've been considering ongoing just some different consolidations within my PC. I've been doing that, curating a lot of what I have and rolling up into some different cards. I really would like to have a Star Rubies, the kind of peacock design Star Rubies Grant Hill. Usually you see those. Typically they're cost prohibitive, but if I rolled a bunch of stuff into one, that might be kind of cool. So that's sort of it's typical for me as PC, looking for the 90s players that I collect, as well as some of the Detroit teams and Chiefs and stuff like that. From an investment perspective, right now, I'm kind of thinking about Ohtani still, to be totally honest. I didn't see any Shohei Ohtani at Fanatics Fest. His market's really hot. We talked about this recently on a different show, but a lot of his cards haven't gone up. His highest of high-end market has gone up, and I'm not playing in the 10K plus range for cards for Ohtani, but a lot of his more low-end stuff and even image variation stuff haven't moved as much. I think it could be still, honestly, a decent time to get in on some of those cards with the rest of the year with the Dodgers, the way their roster looks. They've got some issues. They're struggling a little bit as of late, but it's still Ohtani. He's back pitching. He struck out 2 guys and hit a home run in the same inning the other day, which is that was the initial catalyst that got all of this started. And then he had to have, elbow surgery, goes to hitting 50-50. Now he's back to pitching. It's just it's all coming full circle. I don't see this guy going away anytime soon. And I think the market's just going to continue to frenzy around him for a while.
I like that. I like that pick. I think, I mentioned on Cards on the Table last week, I think, football is obviously very hot at the National. I think Caleb Williams and Drake May will be hot cards at the National, but then also will be very hot cards going into the season. I think the Bears and New England are both going to be better. I think this, though, because the football's already going to be hot at the National, so it may not actually be the very best time to buy football. You probably should have been buying those cards 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
I think now is probably the time to buy basketball, and I think now is probably the time to buy Wemby. I already own a lot of Wemby, but to me, buying Wemby at the National would be probably a pretty smart decision,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's back 100% healthy. He's cleared to return. The doctors say that the issue that he had is not likely to become, some type of, big continuous problem. And he was having an exceptional second season last year before he went out with that. The Spurs were getting better.
Yeah.
Of course, they made the big acquisition of De'Aaron Fox. And so I think the Spurs are going to be improved this year. I think that Wemby will hopefully show continued improvement this year and will be healthy all season long. And there's some ifs in there. You never know. But I could see Wemby's card market getting hot again around the start of the NBA season. And he's not really being thought very much about right now because we're in the doldrums of the NBA offseason.
Yeah.
So
I'm always looking for Giannis as well. I don't know what to expect. The Bucks don't. They made some moves, but it's hard for me to see them. So
is
that's
he
more
not getting dealt at this point? Because he was like, I think everyone thought he was going to get dealt.
I thought
some
he
time
was
ago.
last year. I had at one point said to you, I had a sneaking suspicion that the Thunder might try to make a move for him because they had draft picks, and it was like, would they trade Chet to get Giannis, to win a championship? Well, turns out they didn't need him, So I don't know. He's saying all the right things, and saying he doesn't want to be traded, and he loves Milwaukee. They are the ones who took a chance on him, and I think he's got that loyalty gene. Dame left Portland, where he was beloved, to come to Milwaukee, and that didn't work out, and has gone full circle back to there. So I don't know. I know Giannis wants to win. I know he wants to win at least one more championship, and he has to be looking at that question, saying can I do that here in Milwaukee? Which matters more to me, the loyalty of just riding out my career as a Milwaukee Buck? Or, do I want to try to go win somewhere else and form a team? I would still love to see he and Shea play together personally. And Shea's the other guy in terms of modern basketball.
Sure.
I'm watching his market now because we know the cards come down after the season. If I find some really cool Shea cards at the National, that would probably be a combination of PC and speculation going into next season.
Yeah, but honestly, he probably isn't a bad off-season buy because I don't know that Oklahoma City is going to slow down anytime soon.
They're the favorites next year already.
That might not be a bad buy either. Yeah, I think those are good picks. PC-wise, I'm going to be looking strongly for some Jordan autos from the 1980s card. So I have a long-term PC goal, and this will get very expensive, but I have a long-term PC goal of building out a collection of every single 1980s card that Jordan ever appeared on it, signed by Jordan. It's doable. It's difficult. I just got what I think might be the only one in existence of his Sports Illustrated for Kids card signed by Jordan.
Oh wow!
In the late 1980s, it was BGS authenticated. I checked the PSA Pop report. It is PSA Pop 0.
Wow!
There has never been a single one graded by PSA with an autograph. So I bought a BGS authenticated one. I'm going to, at the National, flip it to PSA so it gets on that PSA Pop report. But so I would love, and I've got several of the cards. I've got the 86 Fleer, obviously, that's in the sticker, both signed by Jordan, which are very expensive ones. I've got the 87 Fleer. I've got the 88 Fleer All-Star Game one where he's slam dunking. I got 1990 or 89 Fleer. I got a handful of them, but there's still a bunch I need. And then especially where I really need a lot is when you get back into the Star Jordans.
Yeah.
And those get very expensive. The autograph ones, especially the 1984, Star Jordan 101 is very expensive. But all of those Star Jordan autos, and there's a bunch of them. There's 20 something Star Jordans from 84, 85, 86. There was, so mad that I missed this. This was a while ago. There was a collection on Fanatics Collect back when it was PWCC. I think it was in 2020. Somebody sold a complete set of every single Star card that Michael Jordan ever appeared on, autographed by Michael Jordan.
Oof.
They were all BGS authenticated, and it went for significantly less money than just what buying the single 1984 Star 101 autographed by Jordan would sell for today. You could have got all 23 or 26 back in 2020 for far less money than what one card will cost you today.
Yikes.
And I didn't see the auction at the time. I wish I had. Now I want to buy all 23, all 26 of them. Now it will probably set you back 10 times or more as much as it did back then. But over time, this is not like I'm trying to get this done this year or next year, but over the next 10 years or something, I would love to build out every single one of those 1980s cards that Jordan's ever appeared on autographed. So at the National this year, that's actually a good thing to find at the National. You will find a lot of Jordan autographs. You will find a lot of on card. So you will see some kind of random 1980s Jordan autographs. I picked some up at previous Nationals. I will be on the hunt this year for some of those as well.
You're going to need like a UV protected vault wall instead of your office wall.
Right.
If you ever get that, and you can
That would be cool.
open the vault and go inside.
That would be cool. That would be a lot of fun. Okay. For people going this year, maybe they haven't been before, maybe they have, and they're just kind of curious to hear thoughts. You got kind of a top do or a top don't for them, or maybe one of each?
Don't try to see like every dealer booth. It's just not possible, especially if they're adding another 250 or 275.
There's another 70. I think just 75.
Oh,
but yeah,
that's right. That was the expo.
They're adding another. Yeah.
That's right. The SoCo Expo was what I was thinking of. But yeah, just there's a lot of booths to see. I would just say, like, kind of pick an area and just start going. Right. Just start looking at them. Keep your bearings about you and know which booth you've already looked at and which one you haven't. But don't let that sort of like feeling of FOMO like hit you, because it does. When I heard that they were adding the extra floor with the additional dealers, I was just kind of like, oh man, like now I'm going to miss out on something for sure. And that is like a bit of a gross feeling, I guess. But so that's just like the don't feel like you're going to have to see everything while you're there. Do just be engaging and respectful with the dealers. Like that's always, it's a two-way street. I would say the same thing to dealers, but interact with them, strike up a conversation, but also be really respectful if they're in the middle of a negotiation. If they're talking to somebody else, don't be rude, be patient. Don't put your case of cards up on their showcases and block things. I made the mistake of doing that accidentally last year because somebody started talking to me, and that's kind of rude. And just have good etiquette and good courtesy, two-way street. That makes the whole show experience better for everyone. And don't steal anything. I mean, I think that goes without saying, but somebody always tries, and just don't do it.
I'll give you a do be patient to find reasonably good deals. You will encounter a lot of overpriced cards at the National. You will encounter a lot of dealers who maybe are less willing to work with you on price because of the fact that there's so much foot traffic and they can probably sell stuff over comp. Do be patient. You don't have to like jump at the first table or the first deal you see. If you're patient enough, you'll find your way into good deals. So do be patient. Don't expect good or easily accessible food within the convention center.
Yeah, not this one.
That's a problem with Chicago's convention center. And the food's not great. There's not a lot of it. It's not great healthy options. Just it's not great there.
Yeah.
Don't expect great Wi-Fi. Don't expect a super comfortable, luxurious show experience. You're not going to get that.
Yeah.
But come prepared accordingly and have a good time.
I would say also, if you do have friends who either are there and are looking for certain things, like just ask them, like, hey, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? If you're kind of going different directions. So help your friends out and know what they're after. Or if you have friends who are remote that are looking for stuff that's like rare, that they can't find on eBay or easily, keep your eyes peeled for that stuff too. And if you do, like my pro tip is, when you're there, it's really tough. Like I'll try to text pictures out to people, like, whether it's on Instagram or text message, and say, hey, here you go. And it doesn't always go through or whatever. At least you have it on your camera roll. Take a picture of the dealer booth. If they have social media, like take note of that, because maybe they can work out a deal through Instagram or something like that, and ask them their table number. And so that's what I do. I'll take a picture of a card, and then if it's not apparent where it is, I'll ask the dealer, hey, what's your booth number? Oh, 221? Cool. I go into the edit and I just literally chicken scratch 221 onto the photo so that I know where it is. And I do the same thing for myself. If I just am not sure I want to pull the trigger yet on something, I put the booth number on there so you can go find it again. That is the worst feeling when it's like, oh, I saw this card earlier. I'm sure I'll know where it is.
No, you'll never know where it is.
You won't.
You'll never know where it is.
You won't know. And then, there's a chance it's already gone too. So you drive yourself crazy. Like, wasn't this the booth where I saw the thing? So, that's like just, use your phone's camera roll to to its full functionality in that regard.
Okay. All right. Let's 2 quick questions to end with. Favorite moment from the National, from your previous Nationals?
Like one single moment ever?
If you can think of one.
Man, that's tough. I just always enjoy our market movers happy hours, like just meeting everybody. I mean, that's my job. That's what I spend my time on with my team every single week, every day, every week, building, creating content around it. And I think it's a privilege and really exciting to have that opportunity and that job. And so just meeting everybody, it's a small, subsection of our user base. It's those who are there and who can make it on Friday night, but it's always a lot of fun. I really, really enjoy that. Other than that, I like hearing other people tell me about what they picked up, seeing other pickups. I like seeing what you find. I like seeing what other people do. To me, that's like half the fun too, is just participating in others getting joy out of, tracking down stuff they've been after. Yeah.
I always, my sons, Reeves and Harrison, have been part of the National experience with me, for the last, let's see, since I guess the Atlantic City National, which was 2022, I think was when they started kind of coming and experiencing it with me. And so, having them there always creates some of those special memories. And then the team dinner that we have the last night of the National, hopefully we'll get a chance to do it again this year, but this year we got even more work to do on Sunday to get the whole booth broken down, because our booth, by the way, is gigantic this year.
Yeah.
And for everybody watching, if you are coming, please come by the Sports Card Investor booth. We got a Market Movers lounge for people to sit down and enjoy themselves. So they're Market Movers members. Our booth this year is like 3 or 4 times bigger than last year. Our Card Kits Trade Zone is like 4 times bigger than last year. Cards HQ has 2 different booths at the National as well, where we're going to be buying cards, we're going to be selling cards. It's quite the setup this year. Yeah. And so we have this team dinner the last night of the National. We traditionally do. Once the National's over and we've like broken down the booth, everybody goes to kind of a late dinner on Sunday night. And that's like the moment of joy and like just storytelling and recapping the week. And normally our metrics from the week are just absolutely off the chart incredible. And hopefully they will be this year again, in terms of video views, in terms of social interactions, in terms of people engaging with the Market Movers app, signing up or using the Market Movers app. So those team dinners are always a highlight. I hope we get that opportunity again this year. Yep. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Final thing, let's pretend it's 1 week from today. We are now on the other side of the National. As you look back at this week in retrospect, what would make this National the most successful National for you?
We had a really good year activation last year in terms of new signups for Market Movers. When we did it last year, we're running promos, discounts to sign up, extended free trials, and that would be the big thing. Just continuing to see our user base grow and knowing that we got a lot of positive feedback. Like I said, we've been working on some changes and we'll continue to improve the app. We've made it significantly better every single year, and so that would be a really successful thing. And then, other than that, coming home healthy would be a big win too, just because there's a lot of handshaking and bro hugging and celebration and all. It's just exhausting. So just coming home and being able to get back to it would be a nice thing. And then I don't know, obviously just tracking down things for my collection would be cool. I'm bringing a decent amount of stuff to trade and maybe to sell or whatever. So if I can move out of some of that stuff that I'm not as attached to and upgrade or just find stuff, cards that I'm interested in, that's always a win too.
Yeah. You watch the Market Movers metrics closely all week, which I love. Of course, that's so important to our business overall. I watch the video views, the social interactions, all that type of stuff. YouTube obviously is kind of my first love and joy because that's how Sports Card Investor started, was on YouTube back in 2019. So, and the YouTube content we get to do from the National is oftentimes my favorite YouTube comment of the entire year. So I'm going to be really looking forward to seeing what our YouTube content is like this year. And so when I look back a week in retrospect from now, I hope we were able to have the best National we've ever had from a YouTube perspective. And I hope everybody watching at home, listening at home, who wasn't able to make it to the National really enjoys the coverage that we're able to give to the National.
Yeah, our video team works insanely
It's their
hard.
Super Bowl.
It's
their Super Bowl.
It's just, I mean, people don't have half a clue how much effort and energy, and they're working 24 hours around the clock and everything. And I get the opportunity to shoot at least 2. We may try, depending on how much time, to squeeze in 3 different videos on Wednesday with, for the Market Movers channel. And there's one video concept that Charles, our head of video, and I concepted out that I'm really excited about doing. So everybody will just have to stay tuned for that one.
Stay tuned. Lots of great stuff ahead. All right, Teapot, we're going to wrap. We're going to get on our way. Everybody watching is going to get on their way. It is time for the National.
Let's do it.
It's going to be a great week. All right, guys, appreciate you watching. And don't forget, by the way, that these full-length Geoff Wilson Show episodes are available on YouTube on the Geoff Wilson Show channel. They're also on Apple Podcast and Spotify, so make sure to subscribe everywhere and make sure to tune into all of our coverage from the National starting later today on the Sports Card Investor YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Take care.